Welcome to episode 1, the referral. Okay, I want to talk about the referral first because I think it might be the most misunderstood aspect of actor-agent acquisition. What you will hear a lot of times is people saying the best way to get an agent is a referral. Okay, now, I don't believe that. None of my colleagues believe that. None of the agents that I'm friends with or have been friends believe that. What we do believe is that the best way, typically, to get an agent is to have your work seen in something or on something, have an agent contact you, and possibly by email or whatever method they use. They say, I saw you Saturday night. I thought you were fantastic. I've looked you up. I see that you have no representation. I would like to talk to you as soon as possible about changing that, and I would like to set up a meeting. Please contact me as soon as you can. Thank you sincerely. That means a direct enthusiasm was generated from you to the agent. They want to see you. They want to meet you. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you something else that we also believe that sounds like the best way to get an agent is through a referral, but it's actually very different. What we believe is very often the easiest way to get an appointment with an agent is through a referral, which means another party comes in and says to an agent, would you see this guy? Would you see this young one? Would you see them? I think they're really, really good. And they say, yeah, sure, due to the relationship that the agent has with that person. So there are 3 kinds of referrals: the soft referral, the internal referral, and the illuminating referral. So if you get a soft referral, that can be this social thing that I sort of referred to. It could even be an industry referral from a casting director, which is good. An agent said to me recently, a casting director was referring somebody to me, so I'm going to see them. And I said, well, I think you better, because you certainly want him to see people when you send them to him. It's sort of a professional courtesy, a little bit of an obligation, something that is just done. That's another kind of referral. Something else. An agent may have a client who's doing very well for them and making a lot of money for them, or a significant amount of money, and the actor will say, the client to the agent, you know, there's a friend of mine, he's in my acting class, he's so good. He doesn't have an agent. I just know if he could, you know, get one, things would change. Would you see him? And most of the time, in a case like that, the agent will typically say yes, because here's why. That's business. That's what you do. You know, somebody's keeping a roof over your head, paying your bills, and they say, would you see somebody? It's a courtesy, and it is a business, for lack of a better word, maybe not obligation, but very often they will. But again, what I want to point out here is there is somebody else in the mix besides the agent. Unlike what I said a few minutes ago about the best way is that it be generated directly. Somebody sees you, likes you, and wants to talk to you. Okay, so those are the 3 kinds of referrals. We have a soft, we have an internal, and then we have what I call the illuminating referral. So if you have a soft referral, the internal I don't want to spend too much time on, because those have gotten a little better with Zoom meetings all set up with the whole office present. It's not really that important. But the illuminating referral takes place when there are components besides the would you see this person? Yes, I will have them get in touch with me. And I'll get to that in a minute. And the reason I'm talking about this and trying to illuminate, you know, my observations on it over many decades is this. Even though there's a certain negativity sound about it, like, you know, that I'm thinking it's not the best way, nor do my friends think it's the best way to get an agent is through a referral. Although I want to stress right here and now, it can work. So yes, you should take any referral that you get, because it might work. But more often than not, it doesn't, and it's because of the nature of the way that it was set up. Okay, so why am I really going on about this? Here's why. Over the years, countless actors have said to me, I had a meeting with an agent the other day. It didn't go very well. And I will say, was it a referral? And almost 100% of the time they will say to me, yeah, how'd you know? And I'll say, well, to put it bluntly, the person that you met with, it was not their idea to meet you. It was somebody else's, not theirs. It wasn't generated because they saw you in something, on something, and said, I need to speak to this person, they're good. So a few things are at work here. They did it out of courtesy, out of obligation, out of political necessity, whatever it may be, but it was not their idea, which doesn't mean they're not going to think you're really good. They might. There's 2 things I want to bring up here. Your talent may be exactly as good as whoever referred you to them says that it is. There may be no question about that in their mind. But what comes up now is component number 2, and this is equally, if not as important as component number 1, okay? An agent might think you're wonderful, you're terrific, you're everything. However, that doesn't mean, the big part two here, that they can take you on as a client right now and work with you and try to move your career forward because of whatever else is on their plate right now, other clients that they have. Agents work on speculation, and that means they don't get paid until an actor gets paid. So they have to try to use their best judgment to discern where their time and energies might best be spent. And depending on where the person who is referred to them is or isn't in their career, they just might feel, I can't move this person. Or whatever the strengths of that actor are might not be the agent's strengths, might not be where they most successfully move people toward. So yes, they may think you're terrific, but it doesn't mean that the part two is there, hey, I think I can work with this person. Now, this brings me back to what I said initially. When somebody sees you in something or on something, you know that they think you're good. It's not necessarily a slam dunk. They might have you do sides or put something else on tape to make sure that they think that you have the range that they need. But number two is this: the fact that they reached out to you and said they want to meet with you means that they think potentially they may be able to make space for you on their client list and work with you. And that's huge. As I say, that's huge. Or they probably would not have gotten in touch with you. And those things are not present when you just get this kind of referral from somebody, because the person who's referring you very often has no idea what's on the agent's plate right now or what their energies and time, all of that stuff needs to go. So that's why sometimes actors will say to me, it didn't go very well, and I'll say, was it a referral? And the answer is usually yes. And I will say, well, it was not their idea to see you. But here's why I want to go into it even a little bit more. Actors are very disappointed when it didn't work out. They can be very hurt when it didn't work out. They can feel guilty when it didn't work out, because they might say, and it was so-and-so who referred me, and they still didn't seem very interested. And I say, please, I don't think you did anything wrong in the meeting. It was the nature of the way that it was set up. Okay? Somebody else said to somebody, would you see? And they said yes. Again, very different from, I saw you, I think you're terrific, I want to talk to you, let's get together and talk. Okay, I think it should be pretty clear that there would be a difference between the two. Again, any referrals that you get, take advantage of them. But if it doesn't work, don't necessarily blame yourself for it, because there's that other component that even if they do think you're really good, and there's no guarantee of that, they don't necessarily think that they can work with you. Now, I mentioned this soft referral. That's all of those above. There's this thing I call the illuminating referral. And if you have a soft referral and it doesn't turn into much of anything, you can then still work on it. By which I mean, unless it went really badly and you two don't like each other, you can stay in touch with that agent. Perhaps not immediately, but as things are happening for you, as you're getting jobs on your own and you might still be looking for representation, as you're making progress, all those things that I'm going to talk about in part 9 that you're not allowed to look at yet, okay, can be used if you still want to go after that representative and maybe change things. Because one good job could change the whole way that you are seen. Now, the illuminating referral, okay, I'm going to give you an example of what I call this, the illuminating referral. A while back, I saw this young actor in an off-Broadway play. It was at a decent venue. The Times didn't review it, but a lot of internet theater critics did review it. And they raved and raved and raved. And it was exactly what I thought of this young actor who had no representation. One critic said, even if you don't like the sound of this play, the theme of this play, the nature of this play, do not miss this young man's performance at your soul's peril. Those were the reviews that he was bringing in, okay? Consistently, that's the way the media was responding to this young man. So I saw him and I met him and I liked him and everything, and I took a chance. I got in touch with an agent that I've never met the person. I know who he is. I know he's really good at what he does. I know he knows who I am, and I know he knows what I do, which is coach actors and work with them privately on career issues and all of that stuff. And I just took a chance. And I emailed him. I found his email address on the internet. IMDb Pro, it's called, imdbpro.com. International IMDb Pro, Internet Movie Database.com, which has agents and casting directors and careers and all kinds of things on there that you can find. And as I say, it's known as imdbpro.com. It is not free, although I think they offer a certain trial period for free. Now, I found the agent that I know, that I don't know, but I know who he is, and I knew he knew who I was. So for the heck of it, I put a subject line, and I said, brilliant New York actor getting rave reviews. Came from Brian O'Neill. And he opened it, and I said to him, you know, I know that you're really, really good at what you do. I know that you like really terrific actors. I know you have great taste, and your actors have great careers. And I know that you have an affinity for actors who come from the theater. You know, so I said, I just thought I would send to you some links. I said, there's nothing in this for me. I'm not asking for anything. If you're interested in seeing him, great. If you're not, that's okay too. I said, he doesn't even know I'm doing it. I just took it upon myself to do it. So I sent the links to his reviews, his rave reviews, and then I said, and here is a link to his reel. So I said, if you're interested, let him know. If not, you know, that's okay too. So anyway, I got an email back from him. He said, I really want to meet this person. I want to talk to him. Those reviews are staggering. His reel is out of this world, and I want to speak to him. Now, why I call that an illuminating referral is because it wasn't just a, hey, would you see this guy? He's really, really good. So those reviews, the actor earned. The brilliance on his tape, you know, on his reel, he earned and did. So I just set it up and nudged it a little bit. And that got those two a meeting together. As I said, I just said, if doesn't, well, I've never met the agent. I just said, I just thought you might be interested, and indeed he was, and indeed they got together and put something together. So that's what I call the illuminating referral. And by which I mean, if you have a soft referral and it doesn't go anywhere, as you are, you know, getting jobs and doing things on your own, you can get back to people with that stuff reasonably. I'm not a calendar person. Some people, actors are like, it's once a month. I got to write to everybody I've been in touch with and tell them what I've been doing. Well, maybe what you've been doing isn't that, you know, impressive or that interesting. I'm much bigger on progress than calendar. And I'm going to talk about those things later on in that thing I told you that I promised I'd tell you about. What things do trigger, you know, agents into thinking that things are moving along better for you, and maybe they should take a second look. So that's going to come up later, but that is the nature of the referral, okay? So the best way is, I believe, and my friends believe, for them to see you firsthand, because there's no other party asking for favors, asking for anything. It's, wow, I have enthusiasm because of what I just saw. Again, not necessarily a slam dunk. They might need to see you do some sides. They might need to see you do some other things. They might need to introduce you to other members of their office. Any of these things are possible. But I just wanted to break down the referral a little bit, because so many actors get their feelings hurt and they're disappointed and everything, and so often I say, it wasn't you. It was the nature in which the interview came about. Okay, they did not initiate it. Somebody else did. Can work, might not. And so that's the referral. And next up, in a minute, I'm going to talk to you about school showcases and school productions, which is another way in which a lot of young actors get seen, and I'll be right with you in a minute.